As a veteran, small business owner, what can we do for you?
What we can all do for all veteran business owners is promote each other.
My main mission was to look at tools of technology to leverage small business and give them more of a competitive advantage.
My mission for Veteran Bargains is very simple: to help vets.
That story in itself, to run for Vista City Council, is a journey.
I think this is an opportunity to really collaborate with those gone before us.
It's really kind of a labor of love.
And now your host.
And welcome back to the Veterans Radio Show. We hope that you're having a phenomenal Friday. And today we're going to give you a phenomenal show. And every Friday you can catch us here at 1 o'clock. We stream live to several different channels. On our Veterans Radio Show, we talk with heroes in action, making it happen for our veteran community. I'm your host, Shelley Harrison, and I'm also the co-director for the Inland Empire Orange County chapter of the National Veterans Chamber of Commerce. So I'm honored to and proud to serve with the Veterans Chamber of Commerce. Just take a look at any successful company, organization, or institution, and you'll find a veteran or a military spouse that was in a leadership role behind that success. We want to welcome our live audience on Facebook, YouTube, Amazon Live, and of course, our podcast listeners. We appreciate your service, and we also would love for you to hit that subscribe button. Today, during this show, we want to see all the questions that you have. We'll put those live on the screen, and we also have some things that we're going to be sharing with you today. I'd like to give a shout out to our sponsor for this April. And I'm glad to announce Mark Mays with Mays and Associates, sponsoring April for our Veterans Radio Show. Mark Mays is an executive business advisor, and he works on the 5 pillars of business. And it's better known as the 5 silos of business. So anyways, I know we've got it on the screen. You could take a look and learn more about Mark Mays and Mays and Associates. Today, I want to welcome my guest, Linda Maloney. And I've known her for, a couple of years now. We met on LinkedIn. However, you're going to learn more about what she's doing. She's doing some phenomenal work. Linda is the owner and CEO of Women Veteran Speakers, representing exceptional women military veterans as event speakers, trainers, coaches, and facilitators for speaking engagements, training events, conferences, webinars, panels, and forums. And of course, virtual right now, right? Because we're in a virtual world. Not for very much longer, though. She is also the project director for the amazing organization Proudly She Served. And we'll talk about that as well. Linda, I want to welcome you to the show.
Thank you, Shelley. So happy to be here and so glad to connect with you. Like you said, we've known each other for a little while, so I was so excited to see you were going to be the host today.
Yeah. And likewise, I was so excited to see that you're going to be our guest today. And I want to salute you and honor you, Linda, for your 20 years of service as a naval aviator and aerospace engineering duty officer. And you're also one of the first women in U.S. history in 1993 to join a combat military flying squadron.
Oh, thank you, Shelley. Seems like a long time ago. Yeah, and I'd do it all over again. Honestly, I tell my husband that all the time. I almost would do it for free. I loved it so much.
Yeah. Well, we absolutely appreciate your service and that of your family, because we know, there's a lot that the family does to support, when their loved ones are in the military. So thank you. Thank you for that. And also congratulations on your book. Linda's an author. Her book is Military Fly Moms. So we'll hear a little bit more about that. And I also, before we get into the interview with Linda, I wanted to announce an event that we're doing. I'm really excited about this because actually I'm a co-event director with Bruce Long, who is he's actually our sponsor for the event, which is Athletes and Warriors 2021 Golf Tournament. So if you know avid golf players that want to get involved, we have some NFL alumni that are, just amazing. And those NFL football players. I'll name a couple of them. We have Andre Reed, who's going to be there. He is actually a Hall of Famer, and he was with the Buffalo Bills. So all you Buffalo Bill fans, you better get out there. And it's going to be June 14th in Pechanga at the Journey at Pechanga is the name of the golf course. We are also going to have Travis Davis there and Dave DeRocher, who is a very good friend of mine. Dave played for the Seattle Seahawks back. He's an alumni as well. So with that, I want to go back to Linda, and our topic today is Women Vets Speak. So Linda, share with our audience about your organization. We would love to hear.
So Women Veteran Speakers started about 5 years ago, and actually it started 10 years ago. I started with another woman veteran, and we had established a small speakers agency. And for the next few years, she and I just learned the tools of the trade, learned all about the industry. And then about 5 years ago, I wanted to grow, and she, like me, has her plate very full in life. Yeah. So I took over the organization. We changed the name, we changed our business model, and then we started growing. And we have obviously the common denominator is all the women are veterans, whether it's 4 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, but they're all veterans, and they're speakers, coaches, trainers, or facilitators. Some do, primarily speaking, some do like a combination of speaking and coaching. And so our primary mission at Women Veteran Speakers is to market those women, market them to our potential clients. And, we market to corporate, corporate clients, colleges and universities, professional organizations. And then last but not least, we also book for veteran related events, but primarily most of our members, we book for corporate events. So that's a big portion of what we do. And we, but our mission really is to highlight them and to market them. We changed up our business model this past year. It was precipitated a little bit because of the pandemic. And obviously things shut down last year, in March. And so we had to, pivot, look at, how to keep the business established and how to maintain until we started to turn that corner. So it's been an interesting year.
Oh, I can completely relate. And what I love is that, you're a veteran yourself, and to be among these phenomenal women. I mean, I know who some of your speakers are, and I would love for you to share. I know there are a couple of them that, that we'd love for you to feature and just kind of share about. So maybe we could talk about two of them that, that are on your roster.
Okay, let me, so Elizabeth McCormick, she speaks full time. And if you Google her, she'll immediately come up. She is amazing. She is very high energy, does a variety of different keynotes. She flew Blackhawks in the Army, and she's just amazing. Then we also have, let me think of another one, Tammy Jo Schultz. She's one of our newest speakers, and folks may be familiar with her. She's actually a close friend of mine, but about 2 years ago, I believe it was, when she landed that crippled Southwest airline aircraft in Philadelphia. And unfortunately, one of the women, one of the passengers passed away. But Tammy Jo has been speaking throughout the country, and she had a book published last year. I think there's a movie in her future.
Oh, that's exciting.
She's a phenomenal.
I mean, my gosh, for what she accomplished, right?
Yeah. Plus, she and I served together. We flew together in the Navy, and but we have the interesting thing about our speakers is that they range in, all the different military services, and they all obviously served in the military and can talk about leadership, but each one of them has a very varied skill set. They have, they have quite a few tools in their toolbox, I like to say. And another one of our speakers, Dr. Mary Kelly, she has a PhD in economics, and you see her all over the place. She must have 10 or 20 published books. And so she's
such an accomplishment.
She's a mentor of mine. She has a very successful speaking business, and she also really gives back to the veteran community. I get contacted all the time by young up and coming speakers that don't really have their business yet, off the ground. And
Yeah.
I always recommend a couple of our members like Mary Kelly and Elizabeth McCormick and Karen Jacobson, because they offer coaching to these young, speakers up and coming, and really
Yeah.
help them in how to build your business.
Yeah. And that's great that that you can provide that extended service, to your clients that, that can give that mentorship for up and coming speakers, because we all know that speaking people are terrified of that sometimes. And sometimes they don't know how to get started, right? If
Well,
they have a story and just don't know how to get started in their business.
Absolutely. Like a lot of times I will recommend to a new speaker, you need to talk to a coach. I would recommend, and I just don't have the bandwidth to offer that. But many times they'll come back and say, well, I already know how to speak. And I'm like, well, that's not it. It's the back business, the business behind the whole, speaking your business.
Yeah. It's just having all those pieces. And then, of course, if they're a seasoned speaker, they're all dialed in. I mean, they have their content, they have their topics that they talk about. But aside from that, if you're doing this as a full-time business, I mean, you have to have a CRM, you have to have, accounts payable, accounts receivable. I mean, all those things that come into play. When clients do work, or our veterans, women veterans, when they work with you, Linda, what is that experience like?
So, whenever they apply, we'll take a look at their application, and I like to say that we're really protective of our brand. Like, really want to have the majority of our members, we call them our members, because they pay an annual fee to be part of Women Veteran Speakers. And then if they choose to have us book them for an event, if a client contacts us and we reach out to the speaker and they're available and they want to book the event, if they're a very established speaker, they can use their own business model and book the event, or they can use us to book the event for them. So we highlight them. If we select them to be a part of our agency, we highlight them on our website. We have and we have all of their contact information there. So the client can choose to contact them directly, or they can go through us. We're very flexible, and but I also work a full-time job, like a separate job for my business.
Right. I remember.
So I'm really passionate about it. I just, I put every single waking moment in between having teenagers and a family,
and the dogs.
and the dogs. Yeah. And I really love it. And I it's so funny because every time I look at all the different profiles and all the women, it's like I fall in love with them all over again. But because they're so amazing, they really have great stories. They have a great skill set, a lot of expertise, and they're doing really great things. They're really doing a lot of great things after they leave the military.
Yeah. And what I'm hearing is, the respect, the compassion, and, and you really do get attached to, the clients that have these powerful stories. I mean, I know because, we've talked about that before. Share with our audience. I know you have another project that's near and dear to your heart. And on top of everything else that you're doing, Linda, you're juggling all these plates in the air. With Proudly She Served, share with us a little bit about that project.
So Proudly She Served, our website is proudlysheserved.com. And about 3 years ago, a New York artist contacted me, and he was referred to me by someone else, by one of my members from my speakers agency. And she said, you need to know Linda Maloney. And so he had painted one woman veteran, Dawn Halfacre, who's an Army veteran, lost her left arm, I believe, or might be a right arm, but over in either Afghanistan or Iraq. And Steve was introduced to her, and he felt compelled to paint a large portrait of her. And so he contacted me. He said, I feel like I need to do a series of portraits. And so long story short, he just kept nipping at my heels because I kept saying, Steve, I don't have time. I'm sorry,
that bandwidth thing. Yeah.
And so, but anyways, long story short, we built out the project. We got our website and our logo, and we now have 12 women. We're not going more than that. We have 12 women that Steve has painted. We're going to have an book that goes with the portrait series.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to have a portrait unveiling and a book launch in 2022, in the summer of 2022. At the
that's
military.
far enough away from COVID, that's for sure.
Well, also we're raising funds, so it's because after the portrait unveiling and book launch, we're also going to have in the following year a traveling national exhibition tour with the portraits.
Oh my
And
gosh.
the whole mission of this is it's a couple different things. It's first of all to highlight women who serve.
Mm-hmm.
And each one of these women, some of them are really well known. Some, like our most well known is Senator Tammy Duckworth. And obviously a lot of people know her. And also Nicole Malkowski, who was the first woman Thunderbird pilot.
Wow, some phenomenal women.
But some of the other women are just everyday heroes. They're women that, you wouldn't know. And so that's what I love. What our last portrait is Nicole Simino, and she is a trauma nurse and has worked with the pandemic. And so we just thought we wanted to have somebody really relevant to what was going on.
Yeah. And these photos they can be seen on the paintings can be seen on proudlysheserved.com.
We're not unveiling all of them.
We're not.
Them. The portrait unveiling and the book launch is going to be the huge, unveiling, and with the book, with the coffee table style book that goes with them. And we're hoping to have this huge event at the Military Women's Memorial, like 300 to 400 people in August of 2022. It's a beautiful, anyone is familiar with the Military Women's Memorial. It's right next to Arlington National Cemetery. Absolutely beautiful.
What a great spot for an event. And, just the theme of it. I mean, I wished I lived in that area so I could just be there, live and see those beautiful paintings.
But everybody on the project is volunteering. Like we have a team of interns, a team of folks, and everybody is volunteering their time.
Yeah. And that's what I love about the veteran community. And the same goes with our National Veteran Chamber of Commerce. When you ask for, for the support, or you want to have volunteers, people just participate and join in. And we love that, those volunteers out there. And we want to give a shout out to all those volunteers with Proudly She Served.
Oh, thank you. They're a great group. We have a couple of young women who are college interns, and they have just been amazing.
Oh, and and sometimes those are the people that you really need, that have that skill set that can really push things forward. Oh,
especially
absolutely.
social media. Instagram.
Oh gosh. Well, we're going to take a quick recap here, and I want to thank our audience for joining us today. If you're watching us from YouTube, Facebook, wherever you're following or watching us from, be sure to hit the subscribe button, because we have amazing guests every week. And just like Linda Maloney, our guest today, she is a phenomenal veteran. She actually has Women Vet Speakers, which is a great organization. So if you know any veteran women that are looking to share their story and get on stage, you're going to want to check out Linda's website and apply. Or, if you know someone that, just make sure you refer them to her website. And also, we want to give a shout out to our sponsor, our April sponsor, which is Mays and Associates. Mark Mays is the president and also an executive business advisor. And he does phenomenal work with businesses across the country. He works with all different types of size businesses. And Linda, we're going to go back to you. As far as advice that you would give to women who are veterans out there that are looking to get started, what kind of guidance would you give them?
I would say, as I was talking about before, to get some good coaching and learn the ropes, learn what you need to initially establish your business. First of all, you have to figure out, what do you want to talk about? And then who's your audience? What do you want to say?
Mm-hmm.
And just do your homework first, and also be very cautious of, all you talked earlier about CRM, like be very cautious about, as you're building your business, what tools are there that you really need to use to build your business? Because everybody wants to sell you something, And
that's true.
Yeah. I've learned, and I'm sure you have too, Shelley, that, there's, you could just get everything, but you really, when you kind of balance your expenses and your revenue, like what
Yeah.
really makes sense. Like the things that I love, like I love Canva. I love
Yeah. I use
Adobe.
that too.
I love Hootsuite. Hootsuite is like my best friend.
Mm.
I love, like social media.
Yeah.
Although for a CRM program, if anybody has a good recommendation, because I feel like you need a graduate degree in understanding CRM.
Sometimes, yeah. Well, one of
Really
the
is.
simple ones, I'll just give a quick shout out, although I'm not giving them a sponsor plug here,
Yeah.
but Pipedrive is one that we use for our organization, and I
Oh,
love it. It's very
yeah.
user friendly and it's very inexpensive to use, but it's called Pipedrive. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So
So if
just
anybody's getting
really
started out there,
careful about the tools and how much you want to spend, and what makes sense for you.
yeah.
And so those are the things, and to reach out, to reach out to other women veterans or other women business owners, that could
Mm.
give you some insight and some recommendations.
Yeah. No, that's great advice. And I think I know that we haven't had any questions come in yet, but that doesn't mean we won't have any. As far as this just kind of what's next for you, Linda, you've got all these wonderful things and projects going, and you've got your event coming up. I mean that's just going to be wonderful when you have that event. What is next for you?
Getting my kids into college.
Getting your kids into college. That's a good one. That's an expensive one too.
um,
Yeah. Well, and
um,
where are they going to be going to college?
I don't know. That's a
You
good
don't
question.
know. So it's in the works right now.
I have a 17-year-old that's being recruited for swim right now. So
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little overwhelming, that whole college recruiting process.
Yeah.
But
It can be.
I really, so really for Proudly She Served is really the next big thing for me is for us, raising funds for that and getting that event on the calendar and scheduled. And then also with my business, obviously, last year was very difficult for lots of, businesses
Yeah.
that require, you have to, not that you have to be on stage in person, but for
Yeah.
those speakers that were not able to pivot immediately, the ones that were able to pivot to the virtual, the webinars, online trainings, they're great, they're doing well. But the
Yeah.
that they didn't do that, they're relooking at their business, and so
Mhm.
that's really one of the reasons why we shifted towards more of a marketing type of business. So I'm
Yeah.
looking more to grow that,
Mm.
and offer it to more women out there. We did lose a
Yeah.
couple of our members whenever, things did change a little bit. So I'm looking to grow
Mm.
the business, and I'm looking to have women veteran speakers be my full-time gig. And
Oh, it's a fun business, and
really
what
is.
you're doing. I mean, it's just, you're giving back to your fellow veterans, and I'm sure that there's such a sisterhood, with a lot of the women that you work with. And like you said, you're very passionate about what you do, and it shows, Linda. And I've been on the phone with you, or well, actually Zoom. We've done some Zoom meetings, and I can see, just your desire to really help these women.
Well, I
So.
do. I mean, I really enjoy it. It's kind of my MO is sharing, because my husband used to say, why don't you write a book? And that's, my book, Military Fly Moms, there's 70
Yeah.
women in the book. And I just said, because my story is just one little piece of many women's stories. And
Yeah.
so it's really my MO is to share women veterans stories, because I think a lot of times people don't know who we are. We're like classified
Yeah.
under certain people, or like certain stories, and they don't know the full story.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And there are millions of stories out there for
Yeah.
sure. Linda, what can our chamber do for you? What are some of the things that we could support you with?
Definitely helping us get the word out about Proudly She Served. And if we're still looking for some volunteers for our organization, and if anyone wants to participate and give any of their time, we would love to talk with you. And then
Mhm.
obviously, if there's any women out there that are speakers, coaches, trainers, facilitators, and they're either starting their business or they have an established business, give us a call, send us an email. We'd love to talk with you.
Yeah, and I know that we had the website up on the screen there. Can you tell us the website?
It's www.womenveteranspeakers.com.
There we go. All right. Well, Linda, I am going to actually bring in our executive director. His name is Joseph Molina, and I believe that he is behind the scenes right now, and he's going to be coming on the show.
Okay.
So let's see here. And while we're waiting, well, let's ask one more question until Joe gets here.
Okay.
Let me ask you, what is the silver lining for you since the pandemic?
You know what? The one thing that I have realized is that I'm a social person, and I I thought I would love working from home, and I've really realized that I need to be around other people. you know,
Yes.
I mean, it's kind of like the silver lining, is that realizing that, we do need other people and we do need to be around other people. And I really feed
Yeah.
off that social input, and, we have had a lot more meals together at home with our family.
Yeah.
And it's made me appreciate my health. My husband and I
Yeah.
are actually both going to get the vaccine tomorrow.
Oh, first one or
I'm a
second?
little nervous about it because I've gone back and forth on it, but yes, tomorrow's the first one. I'd
First
rather
one.
get the one and done, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But you'll be fine. You'll be fine. I already had my first one and no
You did.
reaction, just a sore arm, just a
Yeah.
sore arm. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'll get my second one the end of April.
Yeah.
But well, good luck with that tomorrow. And I know we don't have Joe here today, so he's probably tied up in a meeting or something else. But I just really want to say thank you so much, Linda, for being on the Veteran Radio Show today. You have given so much great information, and I love your passion and what you're doing for our women veterans. And it's near and dear to my heart because, as you know, I love working with our veterans.
Right.
And I want to stay connected with you, and I want our audience to stay connected with you because there are so many veterans out there that could be part of your organization, women who are veterans. So thank you to our audience for being here today. We want you to subscribe and follow us every Friday. We're here for you, and it's something that we just love to be able to provide wonderful guests like we did today with Linda Maloney. And we want to also give another shout out to our sponsor, which is Mays and Associates. And until next time, please visit our Veterans Chamber, and we've got that on the screen as well. And don't forget about the golf tournament. If you know players out there, or people that want to get involved on a sponsorship level or an in-kind, I do want to give a shout out to our alumni NFL football players who will be there, Andre Reed and Dave DeRocher and Travis Davis. And until next time, again, thank you, Linda. And to our audience, we'll see you next time. Thank you.